we bring literal descendants of wolves into our homes, right? Like these highly evolved predators.
Right, built with these bone-crushing jaws.
Exactly. Jaws, teeth, this intensely acidic digestive tract. And somehow we've just been completely brainwashed into feeding them a daily diet of dry, brown, crunchy pebbles.
It's pretty wild when you actually think about it.
It really is. Anyway, welcome to Whisker Wellness Weekly. Today we are doing a deep dive into a very comprehensive 2026 guide from Whisker Wellness. And it's truly eye-opening when you sit back and look at what we've just completely normalized as a society.
Oh, absolutely. It's this profound evolutionary disconnect. I mean, you look at a gray wolf taking down prey in the wild, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at your golden retriever.
Okay.
And despite them sharing nearly identical internal biology, the pet food industry just decided decades ago that the optimal fuel for your predator is, well, something that looks and feels exactly like driveway gravel.
Driveway gravel, that's so accurate.
Yeah.
And the inspiration for this deep dive highlights that absurdity so perfectly.
It really does.
The author of the guide that we're unpacking today shared this incredible, slightly dark but very telling story. So they adopted these two rescue dogs from Romania.
Right.
And these dogs had spent years on the harsh, unforgiving streets, literally scavenging garbage to survive.
Just eating whatever they could find.
Exactly. So naturally, you would assume that flying them to America, giving them this soft life, and serving them premium, commercially formulated kibble out of a pristine ceramic bowl would be like the ultimate biological luxury.
You'd think so, yeah. That's the dream.
But here is the grim irony. Surviving the brutal streets of Romania as a literal scavenger was somehow far less harsh on these dogs' digestive systems than a bowl of premium American commercial kibble.
Which is just crazy.
It's insane. The author notes that once they were on the kibble, these poor dogs were just lethargic, constantly scratching their skin raw and suffering from this chronic, keep-you-up-at-night stomach upset.
Yeah, and that perfectly establishes our mission for this deep dive.
Right.
We really want to unpack the science and the strategy to help you, the listener, stop feeding your dog highly processed junk food.
Please stop.
And instead, actually unlock their true biological potential using raw food delivery services.
Yeah.
Because, once the author transitioned those Romanian street dogs to a biologically appropriate raw diet.
The nightmares vanished.
Exactly. The chronic digestive issues simply vanished, their coats thickened up, their energy stabilized, the chronic inflammation just stopped.
So to understand why raw food is the answer, I feel like we have to ruthlessly examine the problem first.
Oh, we definitely do.
We need to look at what is actually sitting in the dog bowl right now in millions of homes. Let's talk about the commercial kibble industry.
Let's do it.
And specifically, I want to talk about this lovely little manufacturing process called extrusion.
Yes, extrusion. It's the foundational engineering standard for creating dry pet food.
Foundational engineering standard? That sounds so clinical.
Well, it was popularized because it's relentlessly efficient for mass production. It creates a product that can literally sit on a warehouse shelf for years without spoiling.
Right. Efficient. That's a very, very polite word for it.
I mean,
to me, it's more like, oh yeah, let's cook the meat at 1,000,000 degrees until it's dust and then spray synthetic vitamins on it. What a genius biological diet.
I mean, your sarcasm is highly biologically accurate. The extreme heat and pressure of the extrusion process just rapidly destroy a massive percentage of the natural vitamins.
This cooks it right out.
Yeah, the vitamins, the minerals, the fragile amino acids that were actually in the original ingredients, they're just gone.
Wow.
But honestly, the heat isn't even the most concerning part from a biological perspective.
Wait, really? What's worse than obliterating the nutrients?
It's the structural necessity of carbohydrates in the kibble.
Oh, right. The fillers.
Yeah, to make those little kibble pellets physically puff up and hold their shape during extrusion, the liquid mixture has to undergo what's called starch gelatinization. And you can't do that with just meat. You have to pack the formulation with 40 to 50% cheap, starchy binders.
Like corn and wheat.
Corn, wheat, legumes, exactly.
The dogs have zero biological need for carbohydrates. None.
None at all. Their bodies are built to process animal protein and fat.
So feeding a dog a diet that is 50% wheat just to, hold the shape of a pellet? I mean, that's like feeding a human a sandwich made of 50% cardboard just because it makes the sandwich easier to hold on your morning commute.
That analogy perfectly illustrates the absurdity. It really does.
It's just cardboard.
And the biological toll of forcing your dog to process that cardboard every single day is severe.
What does it actually do to them long term?
Well, when you force a canine body to constantly metabolize a diet heavily weighted with carbohydrates, it triggers this relentless cascade of negative effects.
Like what?
We see chronic blood sugar and insulin spikes. We see systemic, low-grade inflammation throughout the joints and the skin, which causes all that itching. And perhaps most critically, it puts immense unnatural strain on their internal organs,
The liver.
specifically the kidneys and the pancreas.
No, right.
They're forced to work overtime, producing enzymes to break down plant matter they were just never evolutionarily designed to handle in bulk.
So, okay, we've firmly established that kibble is essentially canine fast food.
Yes, joke food.
The alternative seems obvious, right? Feed them a biologically appropriate raw diet. Feed them what they are actually built to eat.
Right.
But let's be entirely honest with ourselves for a second. Doing that on your own is an absolute nightmare.
Oh, it's incredibly complex. You cannot just, toss a raw chicken breast from the grocery store into a bowl and call it a balanced diet.
Which I think is what a lot of people try to do at first.
They do, and that will actually cause severe malnutrition over time.
Yeah, because sourcing perfectly balanced raw secreting organs, muscle meat, and like the exact right ratio of edible bone yourself. That means managing a complex Excel spreadsheet and trying to build this deep personal relationship with a local butcher just to secure a beef spleen.
It's exhausting just thinking about it.
Seriously. Spending a Friday night mathematically calculating the calcium to phosphorus ratio of raw offal sounds like a terrible way to spend a Friday night. Or just a terrible way to live, honestly.
And that steep learning curve is exactly why the raw pet food market has just exploded recently with specialized delivery services.
Thank goodness.
Right. They are the ultimate lazy but genius life hack for busy dog owners.
I do love a good life hack.
You get all the incredible life-changing benefits of an ancestral diet without sacrificing half of your freezer space or, frankly, your sanity.
Okay, so when you actually sign up for these delivery services, what exactly are you getting? Because I know there are a couple of different dietary schools of thought out there.
There are. You'll generally encounter two main philosophies.
Oh.
The first is PMR, which stands for Prey Model Raw.
Prey Model Raw. Got it.
And this philosophy basically seeks to mathematically replicate a whole prey animal perfectly.
Okay, what's the formula?
It follows a very strict 80-10-10 rule. So that's 80% muscle meat, 10% secreting organs like liver or kidney, and 10% edible bone.
In plants?
Zero. It contains absolutely zero plant matter.
Wait, really? Zero plants? Just pure carnivore?
Pure carnivore.
But wait, wouldn't a wolf naturally eat the stomach contents of whatever herbivore they just caught out in the wild? Like, isn't an all-meat diet missing vital antioxidants or fiber?
You've hit on the exact debate that led to the second philosophy.
Okay.
That second one is known as BARF, or biologically appropriate raw food.
Unfortunate acronym, but okay.
Very unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah.
But the BARF model keeps that same 80-10-10 meat base,
Right.
but it incorporates pureed, dog-safe vegetables, fruits, seeds, and specific supplements.
Oh, to mimic the stomach contents?
Exactly what you just pointed out. It mimics the stomach contents of the prey, providing that extra soluble fiber and those phytonutrients.
Okay, that makes sense. But what does this actually look like for the squeamish owner?
Good question.
Like, are we just throwing a bloody carcass on the kitchen floor, or is this actually civilized? Because I want my dog to be healthy, but I also really want to keep my kitchen sanitary.
It is highly civilized, I promise.
Oh.
And that is the beauty of commercial delivery.
Okay, phew.
They take these incredibly complex, messy formulations and they neatly package them. Depending on the brand you go with, they arrive as perfectly portioned, vacuum-sealed patties, or even easily pourable frozen cubes.
Pourable cubes. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, a raw patty from these companies looks no different than a premium hamburger you'd prep for a summer cookout.
Okay, that is a huge relief. But we do need to bust some major myths right now.
Let's do it.
Because I know for a fact the second you tell your friends, or even your traditional vet, that you just ordered a raw meat delivery box for your dog, they are going to tell you that you've absolutely lost your mind.
Oh, without a doubt. You will get pushback.
And the biggest fear out there, the one everyone brings up, is salmonella. Everyone imagines this foodborne illness just wiping out their entire household because of raw chicken juice.
It's the most pervasive fear-mongering tactic out there.
Yeah.
And honestly, it completely ignores basic canine biology.
How so?
Well, yes, raw meat contains bacteria, that's a fact.
Right.
But a dog's digestive tract is significantly shorter than ours. So food passes through rapidly before bacteria can even colonize.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and more importantly, their stomach acid is intensely strong.
Like how strong?
A healthy dog's stomach has a pH level of roughly 1.5.
Okay, I don't know the math on that. Is that high or low?
So to put that in perspective, a human stomach pH is around 2.5. Lower means more acidic.
No.
So a dog's biology is literally designed to neutralize pathogens that would leave a human completely bedridden.
That makes sense. I mean, they are biologically built to eat questionable things they find in the dirt anyway.
Precisely. And regarding human safety in the kitchen, the owners handling the food,
Yeah.
these premium delivery services operate out of USDA-inspected human-grade facilities.
Nice.
And many top-tier brands use something called high-pressure processing, or HPP.
Okay, wait. How does that actually work without cooking the meat?
It relies on intense atmospheric pressure instead of heat.
Pressure.
Yeah. They submerge the sealed packages in cold water and apply upwards of 87,000 pounds of pressure per square inch.
Good grief.
I know. That immense pressure physically crushes and ruptures the cell walls of any microscopic bacteria like Salmonella or E. coli.
Wow, just destroys them.
Completely destroys them, while leaving the raw nutritional profile and those delicate amino acids entirely intact.
That is fascinating.
So you just treat the food exactly like you would a raw chicken breast. You are prepping for your own dinner. Wash your hands, wash the bowl.
Common sense kitchen hygiene.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've established their stomach acid handles bacteria, but that acid doesn't dissolve solid wood or bone, which brings me to my biggest fear. Splinters.
Ah, the bone splinter myth.
Yeah. Here's where it gets really interesting to me. I've always been told giving a dog a bone is a massive choking hazard. Isn't this just feeding them a bowl of splinters?
The distinction here is literally a matter of life and death, and it comes down entirely to cooked versus raw.
Okay, break that down for me.
The extreme danger of splintering comes entirely from cooked bones. When you apply heat to a bone, it strips out all the natural moisture and structural collagen.
Making it brittle.
Exactly. What you are left with is essentially a calcified mineral deposit. It becomes dry, brittle, and incredibly sharp when broken. You should never, ever give a dog a cooked bone.
But raw bones are structurally different.
Completely different. Raw bones are soft, pliable, and loaded with marrow and moisture.
Really?
Yeah, they act more like a biological pumice stone. As the dog chews, the bone physically scrapes plaque away from the teeth, while the natural enzymes in the raw meat break down the tartar.
That's amazing for their dental health.
It is. Furthermore, to eliminate the choking hazard completely, these commercial delivery services take those soft, raw bones and finally grind them directly into the meat patties.
Oh, so you don't even see it.
You don't even see the bone. It is seamlessly integrated right into the meal.
Brilliant. Okay, what about the idea that raw diets aren't balanced and that your dog will develop nutritional deficiencies over time?
So if you are trying to DIY this diet without doing the research, like that grocery store chicken breast example we discussed earlier, this is a very valid concern.
Right.
But the delivery services on this 2026 guide, they employ veterinary nutritionists to formulate meals that are fully AAFCO compliant.
Meaning they actually meet the rigorous baseline nutritional standards set by the Association of American Feed Control Officials.
Exactly. They do all the complex math for you to ensure that the exact vitamins, trace minerals, and amino acids required for long-term health are present in every single bite.
Okay, so we know it's safe, we know it's convenient, and the science clearly backs it up. The big question now is navigating the market. You've got the Whisker Wellness 2026 guide right there.
I do.
The market seems heavily segmented now.
It is beautifully evolved to serve very specific needs, actually.
Like what?
Well, for instance, you have Mayev. They engineered this brilliant solution for apartment dwellers.
How so?
Raw meat usually freezes into this solid, unmanageable block, right?
Yeah.
Mayev overcame that engineering hurdle by using a specialized flash freezing technique. It locks in the moisture so rapidly that the individual cubes never clump together.
Wait, so they're just loose in the bag?
Exactly. You literally just open the bag and pour it directly into the bowl. No thawing required at all.
Pourable raw cubes. That is incredibly smart for city living.
Then you have Darwin's Natural, which leans really heavily into veterinary science. They offer prescription-level raw diets.
Oh, like for sick dogs.
Yes, specifically engineered to manage phosphorus and protein levels for dogs with compromised kidneys or cancer.
That's amazing.
And then Viva Raw is making huge waves for its hyper-focus on single protein recipes, which is a massive tool for dogs with severe allergies.
I love seeing that level of innovation in the space. But, okay, we have to talk about the undisputed champion of the guide, the absolute king of 2026.
We do.
One brand stands head and shoulders above the rest, and I am genuinely passionate about this one. Raw Paws Pet Food.
They unquestionably take the top spot this year. And honestly, it really comes down to uncompromising quality and ethical sourcing.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about the heavily processed, degraded proteins found in traditional kibble, right?
The extruded dust.
Right. Raw Paws is the sharpest possible contrast to that industry standard.
Because they partner exclusively with small, ethical, family-owned farms across the USA, right? Free range, strictly hormone-free, and antibiotic-free meats.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
There's total transparency in their supply chain. And what makes them so profoundly useful is their customization.
Customization.
Yeah, they offer complete balanced meals for those who just want the convenience, but they also sell individual components for the advanced DIY feeders.
Oh, for the spreadsheet
For
people.
the spreadsheet people, yes.
Yeah.
Things like raw meaty bones, secreting organs, and green tripe.
Green tripe. That sounds disgusting.
It looks awful, and it smells intensely earthy.
Yuck. What is it?
It's the nutrient-rich, unbleached stomach lining of grazing animals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's densely packed with natural digestive enzymes and probiotics. Dogs absolutely go crazy for it.
I bet. And honestly, their allergy solutions are unmatched.
Oh, totally.
If you have a dog that is constantly scratching its skin raw, and you suspect it's the cheap chicken fat they spray on the outside of kibble, Raw Paws has these incredible novel proteins. You can literally get premium goat, quail, or venison.
The science behind why those novel proteins actually work is fascinating.
Really? How does it work?
So a dog's immune system typically develops an allergic response, which is an overproduction of antibodies, after years of continuous exposure to the same degraded proteins in kibble.
Usually chicken or beef, right?
Usually, yeah. But when you introduce a novel protein, a rare meat they have never encountered in their entire life, like goat or venison, their immune system has no existing antibodies for it.
Ooh.
It doesn't recognize it as a threat, so the inflammatory allergic response simply stops.
That is a literal godsend for dogs with severe intolerances. But okay, I have to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Go for it.
Premium USA-raised quail sounds amazing. But won't feeding my dog premium venison absolutely bankrupt me?
It's a fair question. Cost is definitely the most common barrier to entry, especially for people with large breed dogs.
Yeah, I have a big dog, so I feel this.
Right? Like feeding 100-pound Mastiff pre-portioned 8-ounce boutique patties is financially unsustainable for most households.
Oh, definitely.
But this is exactly why Raw Paws wins the #1 spot for 2026. They offer incredible bulk value.
Okay, how bulk are we talking?
Instead of tiny individual patties, you can buy their complete meals in massive 5-pound or 10-pound chubs.
10-pound chubs.
Yeah. And buying in bulk like that drastically cuts the cost per pound, which makes premium human-grade raw feeding actually sustainable, even for the giant breeds.
It's an investment, sure, but a highly manageable one if you buy smart. Which brings us to the actual execution phase of this whole thing.
The logistics.
Right. You click buy on Raw Paws, and 2 days later, a giant, heavy box of frozen meat arrives on your porch.
Yep.
If you just rip it open and dump it in your dog's bowl immediately, it is going to be a complete disaster, isn't it?
A total disaster. There are basic logistics you absolutely must manage first. We have what I call the freezer math.
The freezer math. Let's hear it.
If you are taking advantage of those bulk 5- and 10-pound chubs from Raw Paws we just talked about, your standard kitchen fridge freezer just isn't going to cut it.
No way.
You really need to invest in a small, dedicated chest freezer for your garage or basement. And honestly, it pays for itself very quickly through those bulk shipping savings.
Okay, so once we have it stored properly, how do we safely thaw it? Because you said earlier we can never, ever cook raw bone.
The thawing protocol is incredibly strict here. Never, under any circumstances, microwave raw dog food containing ground bone.
No microwaves.
None. The localized heat from the microwave will instantly start to calcify the bone fragments inside the meat.
Turning them into those splinters.
Turning them into those dangerous, brittle splinters we discussed? Yes.
Right.
You simply transfer a 2 to 3 day supply into a dedicated container in your refrigerator and let it thaw naturally and safely over 24 to 48 hours.
Okay, easy enough. But we also need to talk about the bowl itself.
Yes.
The guide explicitly says to throw out your plastic dog bowls immediately. Like today. Toss them. Plastic is highly porous, and over time it develops these microscopic scratches from the dog eating out of it.
Right.
When you transition to raw meat, those micro scratches become stubborn, nearly impossible to clean breeding grounds for bacteria.
Even if you put them in the dishwasher.
Even running them through a dishwasher struggles to fully sanitize those deep scratches. You really need to upgrade exclusively to high-quality stainless steel or ceramic bowls.
Okay.
And they must be washed with hot, soapy water after every single meal.
Got it. Okay, so I've got the chest freezer, I safely thawed the meat in the fridge, and I have a pristine stainless steel bowl. Now we feed the dog.
Now we feed.
But wait, if a guy eats nothing but highly processed fast food for 10 years and you suddenly force feed him a giant raw kale salad,
Yeah,
his stomach is going to absolutely riot.
it would be a mess.
What is the actual transition plan here?
Yeah.
Same for dogs, right? It is the exact same biological principle.
Yeah.
A dog that has eaten dry, carbohydrate-heavy, extruded kibble its entire life has a completely different gut microbiome and a much weaker stomach pH than a raw-fed dog.
Oh, because they've never needed the strong acid.
Exactly. Their system has literally adapted to processed starch. If you switch them cold turkey to rich, raw protein, you will cause severe gastrointestinal distress.
Nobody wants that.
No. You must follow a strict 10-day transition protocol to allow their gut flora and stomach acid to readjust slowly.
Walk me through exactly what those 10 days look like.
So days 1 through 3 are the 25% rule. You feed 75% of their old kibble and 25% raw.
Okay, 25%. Now, can I just cook the raw part slightly to make it easier on their stomach at first?
Well, if your dog has a known sensitive stomach, you can lightly sear the outside of the raw food just to make it gentler on the digestive tract. But, and this is vital, you can only sear it if it's a purely boneless mix. Never apply heat to anything with ground bone in it.
Got it. Never sear the bone. So day 4 comes around, we move to a 50-50 split.
Yep, 50-50. And I imagine this is where things get slightly weird for the owners.
Why?
This is where a lot of owners panic because they notice their dog has completely stopped drinking from the water bowl.
Oh, wait. I know why.
Go ahead.
Kibble is completely dehydrated in the factory, so they have to constantly chug water just to process and pass it. But raw meat...
There's naturally about 70% moisture.
Right.
Your dog is finally getting intrinsic hydration directly from their food, exactly the way nature intended. So their physiological drive to drink standalone water drops significantly.
That makes total sense. They aren't thirsty because they're eating their water.
Exactly. Then we hit days 7 through 9, which is a 75% raw and 25% kibble split.
Almost there.
And this is where you will really notice the profound changes out in the backyard.
What poop talk?
The poop talk. Their stools will become drastically smaller, much firmer, and sometimes slightly chalky.
Chalky. Is that bad?
That chalky texture is completely normal. It's simply the healthy bone content passing through. And the volume drops so much because their body is actually absorbing and utilizing the nutrients.
Instead of just passing massive amounts of cheap carbohydrate fillers on the lawn.
Exactly. And finally, on day 10, you are at 100% raw.
Day 10. And you've got a completely different animal on your hands.
You really do.
You've essentially unlocked the wolf inside your living room.
It truly is a biological transformation. And, if I can leave you with one final thought to mull over today, it's this.
Let's hear it.
Consider the sheer staggering amount of money we spend as a society on reactive veterinary care. We are constantly treating chronic itching, severe allergies, and kidney disease, and we just accept them as normal parts of a dog aging.
We really do.
But what if the vast majority of those aging issues aren't natural at all? What if they are simply the long-term, unavoidable symptoms of a highly processed, lifelong extruded diet?
Wow. That is a massive paradigm-shifting question and honestly a huge wake-up call for anyone listening right now. If you want to stop feeding your dog highly processed junk and actually see them thrive, click the link in the description, read the full transition guide on Whisker Wellness, and get the best 2026 pricing for raw paws. Do it for your dog. They literally can't use a credit card themselves. Thanks for tuning in to Whisker Wellness Weekly.